The region has been plagued by war for far too long. What was its purpose? Why had it started? At this point, the details are known to only a few. The fighting has not let up, yet neither has the march of technology. A highly efficient style of warfare has resulted, with both sides adopting a maximal damage, minimal cost strategy. Boots on the ground have been completely replaced by drones and other unmanned armaments with ever-improving capabilities and effectiveness. Sky Striker is the latest super-advanced technology developed to combat the expansionist empire. A lone girl was tasked with wielding it. This was Raye, a girl who was discovered to possess extraordinary abilities. Like others her age, she was educated in history, tactics, and the use of Sky Striker technology. But what took others years to understand, she grasped in a matter of days. Further, her physical prowess when wielding Sky Striker technology was unprecedented, as was her ability to take information she had learned hours before and adapt accordingly. None could deny her incomparable talent after she breezed through a training program considered challenging even by veterans. And thus, Raye became a full-fledged Sky Striker ace and deployed to the combat zone to fight in defense of her people. One fateful day, during one of her training sessions, an alarm heralded an incoming enemy assault. She needed no further command to mobilize. After changing into her base suit, she swiftly departed alone. Flying at high altitude, she made a beeline for the battlefield. Almost there. Just as she muttered this to herself, a large fighting force came into view. The enemy had arrived. Her approach was the same as ever, her focus and sense of duty unwavering. Even so, it was to be a battle unlike any other she had experienced. Raye made short work of the enemies who rushed toward her. Having done her duty, she was clear to return to base. But just then, she encountered another enemy, a girl around her age. This alone was startling, but there was more. She was holding a Sky Striker. This was the cutting-edge technology of Raye's nation. How had it fallen into enemy hands? The suddenness of the girl's assault caught Raye off guard, but only for a moment. With deft timing, Raye equipped X005 Kana, suited for hand-to-hand combat. This mode empowered her arms with the force of a heavy mech. But the other girl was unfazed and fought back relentlessly with her Sky Striker. The duel continued, neither gaining the upper hand, until eventually, Raye's opponent suddenly stopped and lowered her weapon. After backing off a significant distance, she turned and left. The battle ended. The clash, in particular the similarity of her adversary to herself, had left Raye shocked and confused. Though lacking any detectable emotion, the girl was evidently a biological being, a human like Raye. And she was also a Sky Striker ace of equal ability to herself, or possibly even greater. Raye had only ever fought machines, but an enemy is an enemy. Still, she felt extremely conflicted. The prospect of having to end the girl's life left her racked with doubt. Clearly, there would be no such hesitation from the girl, whose lifelong duty had been to purge any enemy that crossed her path. Ever since being born in the expansionist empire, this girl had been treated as a weapon and developed to counter the threat of the Sky Striker ace. All that crossed her mind was the most efficient path to victory. Raye being another human was not a factor. Still, it had not escaped her attention how Raye had struggled with indecision during their fight. On reflection, she began to faintly feel something she couldn't express. It had been some time since Raye had clashed with the enemy nation's Sky Striker ace. The encounter was still playing on her mind. They had much in common, even besides their age. Amid her feelings of shock and consternation, this made Raye a little happy. She hoped they would meet again and get a chance to talk. Though their allegiances differed, she would not deny her natural desire. That said, going in with her weapon lowered was not an option. She would be cut down in an instant. It was going to take force to get anything out of the girl. As it happened, their paths crossed again in battle. Raye was well prepared, having analyzed their previous encounter. Who would come out on top? The finest of margins would decide. Just barely managing to force her opponent onto the back foot for a second, Raye pounced. She struck the black-garbed Sky Striker ace into the ground with great force. Then she descended in pursuit. By the time her opponent returned to a fighting stance, Raye stood ready, clad in a different armament, colored blue. Raye held back. Even so, her opponent readied her blade as if preparing to strike. But she didn't. Something diverted her attention. My comms? They're being jammed. Sky Striker Ace Shizuku is a mode designed for protecting bases. Among the X series, it is unique for its top-notch defenses and electronic warfare capabilities. This was what Raye had planned to enable them to talk. However, it meant that the enemy's radars would show contact lost at their location. An extraction unit would surely be on the way. They likely had a minute tops. My name's Raye. What's yours? The black-suited Sky Striker Ace seemed unwilling to reply, but finally opened her mouth. Rose. Although she deemed the conversation pointless, keeping it going would buy her time. At the same time, she scanned for a gap in Raye's defenses, to no avail. Even retreating might prove difficult, given her injuries. Waiting for comms to be restored was thus the only option. That or an all-or-nothing attack. 30 seconds to go. Raye remained in a combat stance, observing Rose keenly. The impact when she fell must have been severe. It seems it cracked her visor. Her face was partially visible. Although probably in pain, she wore a totally placid expression. One might have mistaken her for a robot or a doll. Except, Raye could detect deep emotion within Rose's red eyes. Exasperation, or perhaps lamentation. Another 15 seconds. That was enough. Raye knew she couldn't strike the finishing blow. She wanted Rose to live, and to live a life where she did not have to end the lives of others. Eight seconds remained. You don't want to fight either, do you? Raye wasn't expecting any real response to her question. She simply felt the need to express herself. 2 seconds. She smiled gently, turned, and departed. 0. Rose's comms came back online. The extraction unit arrived in well under a minute. When they picked her up, she was treated like a crashed drone. Rose propped up her immobilized body, thoughts racing through her mind. Why didn't she finish me off? And what made her smile like that? Rose was disturbed by a deluge of questions from deep within. Disturbed, but not displeased. There was a warmth. And in turn, a thawing of her hardened heart. It was the first time she had experienced kindness. Not long after this, Raye's nation adopted a new military plan, codenamed the Striking Strategy. They now had the material advantage, so it was the right time for an assault on the expansionist empire's central base. Not wanting to cross blades with Rose again, Raye resolved to bring about a swift end to the conflict. with this, she boarded Sky Striker Mech Armory, Hercules Base, all ready for departure. The signal was given, and Raye struck out on her journey, soaring into the sky.